A panel discussion titled How Can We Help Women Take Action Through Innovation? We have a little technical obstacle here because the Ms. Ghada Teima, who was from the World Bank, who was supposed to moderate the panel, needs to leave for the airport at 12 o'clock, which happened suddenly. So I have just now asked Ms. Tuba directly to moderate the session. She's saying goodbye to the girls, but she will come now. In the meantime, I will introduce you our panelists here. Maria Hala is a business angel from Greece. She is a founding partner of MH Partners, and she will be our first panelist. Then we have Rina from Malaysia. Rina Neoh is the co-founder of the Ficus Venture Capital. So we have here two girls with investment venture track record. And the third panelist was announced in the books. It was supposed to be Ms. Zehra, the member of the parliament, who was also supposed to give the keynote speech, but she has apologized to Vibers this morning, so she will not come at all today. And I have kindly asked Duja to step in. Duja is WBAF High Commissioner for Tunisia. She's been with the organization for 2 years already, and she's an important ecosystem builder in Tunisia as well. So all of our panelists here are women, but in the first place they are business women, and then this gender is their second characteristics, I would say, from what I know from them. So as we have made that first panel very long, I propose that we do this in half an hour by the lunch, and that at 12:30 we go to the lunch around the corner. Let's continue the funny discussions.
Thank you. Happy to be back. Oh, I have Milik right there. Oh my God, the networker of women in Middle East. She is the founder of Turkish Women International Network. And of course, to my side, I have 3 beautiful angel investors who have chosen as their path to invest and to develop innovation. And that is the main topic of this discussion. The previous one was on self-awareness and financial inclusion, and this is all on innovation. How we're going to go about the panel, we have only half an hour, and I am let's say how can I say it, the ghost moderator, because the actual moderator who was supposed to be here had to catch a flight. And I would love to hear from the ladies, 2 minutes each. If you can begin, introduce your name and why you chose to do what you do today. Please, let's start from there.
Hello everybody, I'm Hala from Tunisia. First of all, I'm entrepreneur more than... Okay. So I'm entrepreneur since many years, let's say. I used to launch companies, and I have also the hat of expert on entrepreneurship and development. I helped a lot of hundreds of entrepreneurs, coach them, do accompaniment to let them enter in this universe of business and entrepreneurship. And I'm really passionate of that. So I'm here today because actually I'm launching one of my passionate activities is an accelerator in Tunisia. And you are gathering people from diaspora and from Tunisia and outside of Tunisia, business angels. It's very new in Tunisia. It's not very used, and I'm happy to be in this field because it's really my passion when it comes to business. So I want to help others, and I think we should have reinforced the ecosystem by business angels, crowdfunders, and this kind of new financial opportunities.
Thank you. And Rina.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Rina from Malaysia, but I've actually stayed in Singapore for the last 20 years. Singapore is my base. I'm an accidental entrepreneur, started to sell banana fritters when I was 8 years old. And ever since countless jobs. I've been a hairdresser, a model when I was slimmer, of course. And today I'm actually a co-founder of two venture funds. One is Mocadas Capital, which I co-founded in 2006. We have invested in more than 80 companies, had 3 exits, 3 IPOs, 5 trade sales. 25 of them actually died. Recently, I launched a Sharia compliant fund in Malaysia as well. On a personal investment appetite, I actually invest in brick and mortar business as well. So I have invested in chocolate companies, electric vehicles, and my passion, I mean, if I have $1 and I have to choose, it would be edtech, education, because I truly believe that education, especially to the marginalized community, children, is the most logical way to solve poverty. So happy to be here today to share the stage with this wonderful woman.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Maria Hala. I'm originated from Greece, from Athens. My career has actually started from as a professional from financial equities, as a capital market actually. But I switched and rebuilt my professional status roughly 8 years ago when I got involved with angel investments, and I found out that far from the equity markets and the numbers behind it and the stock market, there are more valuable and more promising ventures that you can invest and provide the most I can, and I have. And probably is the reason behind that we are everybody here as female investors and male that are interested in, to provide and offer something to the society through providing mentoring, coaching, and social financing in new ventures that have also a social impact behind them. I mainly invest in 2 areas, in medtech and fintech, again, which is something that has social impact for me. And I provide mentoring coaching in the seed and early stages side of the investment cycle.
I am blessed today. I have met so many wonderful women, and here is another batch of extremely optimistic and extremely accidental entrepreneurs. So we proved one thing: women do take risk. I don't know who it is that keeps on saying, women don't take enough risk. Ladies, you're life proof. You are going to be building an accelerator. I have done 2 and doing another 7 this year. Each one is now vertically focused. Accelerators are a misconception of how quickly people have to rise, but actually, in essence, they're a combination of innovation platforms and investment portfolios. You said something very important. Tunisia lacks the angel investment opportunity. When I began, we had only 10 angel investors in the whole country, and nobody knew them even by name. So I can see how difficult your challenge is. I want to hear from you. How big is the innovation component in what you're doing? And how are you going to tackle promoting them to the investors?
Actually, I think Tunisia is in the same situation that you say. You have perhaps 10 persons who are investing in startups and in SMEs, and we don't know them because it's a kind. I saw some examples this year. They are investing in companies that they are in their value chain. So it's or they buy them, and it's very new in Tunisia. And I'm happy that the ecosystem is really moving. And I think I have this challenge. I take this challenge to raise awareness around angel investment, and an accelerator will be in my idea a platform to show up that you have this kind of opportunities to put money in some good startups. And I think innovation will be an important axe we have to focus on, because every investor will look for something innovative, something where we have creativity, and we propose something different, and but it's challenging, because when innovation is here and we don't know what is it, and it's new, the idea is new, or the project is something different and not seen in the country, for example, it will be challenging to involve this kind of investors. But it's better than banks. You know that banks, they are really not aware, not enough risk takers when it comes to innovation, and when it comes to startups and something sector they don't know, not traditional sectors. So I think business angels, or and I stress also on crowdfunders, could be a good solution to let's say to have this new dynamic in the country, and let people let startups and new entrepreneurs, innovative entrepreneurs, to be funded, and find the way to tackle this I think this difficulty to find investment, to find funds to start.
I think, you know, the worst part is going to be over in 5 years. The proof of concept that women are actually capable of delivering businesses, and to get the angels to invest in them, is going to be the challenge. And I'm going to go over to Rina. Malaysia has a beautiful ecosystem, so does Singapore. Its abundance in availability of cash and availability of startups, and not having any gender issue, but founders issue. And I believe there are over 24 different types of government grants in addition to angel investment. So in an ecosystem that is so well and mature, what's your real challenge when it comes to female entrepreneurs and investors?
Being on the other side of the fence most of the time, well, I think I'm still an entrepreneur, so I still look forward to building businesses. I think this should not stop, because once you put yourself on the other side, and then you think that you are the best angel investors, you lost touch with what's going on. So I look at opportunities. For example, the schools that I have in Manila, I built it from scratch. I chose to be involved in it because I'm the master franchise, and I feel that if I don't do it myself, how would I convince the other sub-franchisees to buy from me, right? So coming back to your question, what are the challenges in this part of the world? ASEAN women or Asian women, we are brought up in a certain way. We are less outspoken, for sure. We tend to look elsewhere, even in school. I remember when the teacher asked question, I was trying to look somewhere else so that he won't look at me. So one day he said, I look at you all the time, you're trying to hide away. So anyway, we have that challenge. So most of the time, the startups that pitch to us, I do see that the questions or the choice of words that female entrepreneurs or female founders use, they are more cautious, because, you know, for women, I think there are two things. Fundamentally, we are very shy. We feel that taking money from someone is shameful, right? And the other thing I felt was we are always on a defensive mode. So if I ask, you know, how fast can you grow? We are like, no, we should do this smaller, and, you know, but the VCs, they want to look at how far can you go, right? Because I don't have time to waste. But we can't actually sort of fault the women for that. We're designed like this. But I was hoping that, you know, as we speak in the committee, mentoring women how to present and use the correct choice of words perhaps can help, because we all know that women founders only get 2% of the funds available, right? Even in Singapore, there are so much funds, but in reality, we don't have many women founders who actually get funding. There are women founders, I must say, because Asian women are quite entrepreneurial. But for them to start their little business and to get to the next level, you need funding. And I think that is one of the things that is critical. Many women in the developing countries do not have an identity. They're unbanked. And what I realized working in Philippines is that I go to the villages and they have zero information about a bank. And when you try to talk to them, it's a huge gap. So microfinancing, I think, it will be a good start to provide, smaller amount of money and try to actually educate them. So one of the platforms that I really like is Kiva. Kiva is a wonderful platform trying to get stories, from small micro entrepreneurs to the world. And I'm amazed how fast all these investors actually support this. Yeah, so I think in Asia,
I've been on Kiva supporting since it's founded.
Yes,
I love it.
It's a wonderful platform. So, I would highly encourage, women who are doing a small business to go on Kiva and try it out.
By the way, for all the ladies and gents in the room, it's Kiva. Okay, Kiva.
Kiva.org. Yeah.
Yes, .org. Kiva.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Woman, the courage part, the financial awareness, and you sit like a banker. And I'm sure you have been a banker for a while before you became an investor. But you chose to pick on sectors that are highly and exponentially deep tech. And deep tech in itself is very difficult to find investors for. Why on earth would you do that? Why not go for the simpler, social media and stuff? And on top of that, how on earth are you going to convince investors to co-invest along your side in startups? How are you going about that? Tell us more.
First of all, the reason that I chose medtech and fintech to invest personally.
Is your mic on? I think you turned it
on. Okay, the reason I chose both medtech and fintech to invest myself and to try to find investors is that from the social, as a female investor, I want my investment to have not only return on investment, to go back to the to my banker science hat, but also I want to contribute to my society. So inherently, I don't know how came out. Probably as female investors, we have it inside of us. I want to invest, and my investment must have a purpose for it. I want to leave something to the next society. And of course, I'm not a doctor, neither am not an agriculture expert, but I know that by supporting these ventures, these teams, I can contribute something to my society, from my next generation, from my children. So it will not be only a stock market return that I can achieve, a very fast return of 20, 30%. But I want to in a sort of way, educate and teach my investors, my entrepreneurs, that okay, we can contribute something that has it's more valuable, far from investable to our society. I also invested in two other sectors, which is fintech and tourist tech, which is more easier, as we could say, and more plain vanilla, as we could say, in the financial terminology, because by chance I came out through two ventures that had originated from female investors. So I was very impressed in a very male sector, such as in a male environment, such as STEM sector, over science, technology, engineering, and maths, to find out that there were also some girls, some females, that had so much knowledge and so much science to contribute. Rina I actually explained this previously, that there are a lot of girls that feel, shy to go out to the world. I don't know if this is inherently, or if you have aspired in this way. that we cannot approach that mainly sciences and mainly fields, and that these are actually only contributed for male, for boys and not for girls, and were originated for more humanities and art. No, this is not the way. We have to support girls. We have to support the next generation, as the previous panel that you also moderated explained us, that they have to be inspired for that, to dare, and to feel that they can contribute through engineering and through innovation. So I feel that through my investment, just put one small stone to the whole this environment, I can, put something on that and actually provide the steps and the route for a new generation, for girls, to go out to the engineering and technological innovation sectors and prove out that they can actually make it.
And lending that hand at the first step when they're beginning is the toughest thing to do.
Definitely.
I'm going to move on and simply asked, I have seen so many Tunisian entrepreneurs. They have, especially in deep tech, in healthcare, and in technologies where they develop even, the AIs and bots and so many new equipments in healthcare as well. I wanted to, if you see a prototype surgical room built in Tunisia, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm just a little bit confused because I come from a country where innovation has not been the forefront, but Tunisia, innovation has been the forefront. So why didn't it lead to more commercialization and investments? Why didn't people, was it because the government sector led it? And what do you think your initiative is going to bring to the table, especially for women in that field, who are more, let's say, less outspoken? What are you going to be doing to promote that?
You mean to promote investment?
To bridge that gap. There's so much innovation, yet so little of it actually hits the market globally.
Yes.
I think many of you would not know what is the latest invention that came out of healthcare in Tunisia. There's not one, but there's 1,000. They're so focused on pharma and deep tech and health tech. You are a health tech investor. And I was mentioning to her yesterday that Tunisia is your market. And she was shocked. She said, what? Really? I've seen so many good products in science fairs, but not so much, and in healthcare fairs, but not so much in entrepreneurship and startups. So how are you going to bridge that gap with your accelerator if you are?
Actually, you're right. We have really a very dynamic ecosystem and entrepreneurs, startups who are coming.
Make sure your mic is on. Sorry.
Yeah. We're coming up with innovation, and it's coming very fast and very quickly. Actually, we don't have this, as I told you, the financial part, the investors it's quite a kind of mindset you have to work on to have a private investor coming and supporting this kind of entrepreneurs. But in our accelerator, and I say hi to my friend Samar there, we are working to have more investors coming from abroad, and we start with diaspora, for example. Samar is working on that in France. She's based in Paris, and she's working on how to have this community of investors, first of all diaspora, but also foreign, other person who are interested to invest in Tunisia. And actually, I think the challenge will be also to help these entrepreneurs to go international, because our market is very small, and an investor need to know, need to invest in something who can be scalable, and we can gain a lot of money. So in our accelerator, we have these two main access on what we will be working: access to finance via business angels and investors and funds, equity, and also internationalization. So we will help them to prepare themselves, to prepare their product and their company to go to be international and to be more attractive for investors.
Wonderful. Cross borders pollination. This is so important. We need to learn more from bees and birds. And I just wanted to ask Rina, you know, Far East culture, you spoke about that. And part of that is having the loyalty to run something from beginning to end. Most companies and corporates have 30, 40-year lifespans. However, innovation is a hurdle in that. Innovation is where really quick change, really quick adaptation. And when you bring being a female into that, the formula becomes even tougher for two reasons. People believing that a woman can change that fast, women being mothers and loyals and, you know, bearers and caregivers. How, through your funds, through your venture capital and the investments that you do and the mentoring that you give, what are the key factors for the upcoming 10 years of investment change, investment behavior change, and female entrepreneurship behavior change that you're foreseeing and you're working on to bring about that change?
I think in my 15 years investing as an angel investor and also seeing the company from idea to start up to scale up and even exit, in the earlier part, we see a lot of young venture capital fund managers from Ivy League schools and all this investing in companies. But I give it to them. But in my personal setup of my fund and how I would take the investment forward, I believe the startup and the SMEs need to talk. And SMEs, I mean, you know, experienced professionals, CEOs, we need to provide them a platform to transition. They are good mentors, they have done it, they have built companies, but they may not be investing. So in my venture fund, especially Ficus, we are investing at a stage of Series A's and above, but we would like to actually smell the deal right from the start. So Ficus has an accelerator that actually creates pipeline for us. And I sit on the board of a Asia CEO network out of Hong Kong, talking about cross-border, because if I make an investment, I always tell, as an angel, I always tell the founders that you need to be able to also choose who are the early investors you want to bring in, because even if you are a Singapore company, yes, there's plenty of cash in Singapore, but you don't want your 5 investors all Singaporeans, because your product, you should be building at least for the region. And it will be much easier, no guarantee, but if you get an investor from Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, because they are automatically motivated to make sure that your market access is a little bit smoother. So in my setup, we tend to plan this already. So I must say that angel investors, we do act like a mafia, a gang, or we invest together with friends. It's so much easier, right? But sometimes, you know, friends do quarrel as well. So, but I try not to invest with family members. So I think it is, as the startup investment scene change, especially technology, I think coming from an investor, we sometimes have to tweak the way we invest as well. You know, I used to think that the business plan is everything until I lost a lot of money. And I started to think that actually, with all this technology, the only thing that really doesn't change much is the person, the core of that person. If you can see through that, whether this person can bring, it starts with plan A, but you know, plan A doesn't really work, so can he then adapt it to plan A plus? Or if not, pivot to plan B, right? So I think from my perspective as an investor, if you invest in a company, you probably need to think a few steps ahead, whether it's using your own network, which is very important, which I think this platform is very good, and use technology to also monitor your portfolios. Because one of the challenge of investing in too many companies is that the young startups are too busy either chasing sales or chasing fundraising. They forget to update investors. And the time when we hear from them is like, my bank account is almost empty. So that's the news that I always get, and it worries me. So with technology and with network, I think even with the fast-moving internet innovation is happening, I think we can manage it. Lastly, as a female entrepreneur and investor, I must say that most of the time, people who co-invest with me, especially in Singapore and Hong Kong, still very much are men. I hope that this platform will be able to encourage more women investors, because women do bring a lot of value in the boardroom, right? So yeah, that's my take.
Thank you. We have that problem as well. 98% of women keep their assets in banks and funds and real estate, and somehow we have to move it. So Maria, how come you're moving it? And how crazy is your next investment in your mind? What is your next, deep tech investment going to be?
Actually, my inspiration, and this is what I would like to get focused in, is to try, by again putting the social impact hat on my hand, and try to fill out this impact investment gap that there is between men and women. It has been pretty mentioned for both Dusha and Rina and yourself too, that there is an investment gap between men and women. Women do not invest. We're very risk averse. We prefer, as you said, to keep our, this is not only in your country, but in my country too, and probably if I ask most of the female ladies here, females here, we keep most of our money in our bank account. We want to feel secure. We get afraid of the idea of losing money rather than getting a higher return from our money. So I believe that, and I want to focus in a high-tech company, an innovative company, which is going to be, actually, it is a product that I'm running now back home, that is focused in a female team, that are preparing a company that is going to have a platform that is going to educate more female investors. It will be originated from female advisors, which is something that female entrepreneurs, we do appreciate, and we want to have a contact through our female partners. We feel more comfortable to have the questions and sort out problems through our female partners. And we, of course, we're gonna use heavily technology and innovation, since nowadays both either an VC or an angel investor, innovation technology solve a lot of problems through platforms, through webinars, through not having to be at your home, at your face, in order to get in touch with your clients and your peer group. So the next high-tech company for me is one that is going to be dedicated in female investors from a female group.
Count me in. Can I co-invest?
Why not?
If foreigners can invest in Greece, why not?
And actually, we can structure a VC female fund for that.
Yeah,
We could responsible that.
Yeah.
Attract also Tunisia.
So I know we're standing between you and lunch, but I want to open the floor to the audience if there is a question from the audience. Okay, then since everybody is clear, we're all transparent, we're all fun, one closing sentence from each one of you, then we'll hand over the stage to Renata. Please.
Last sentence, yes, I think the idea to have a special fund for women will be very good. Okay. And welcome to invest in Tunisia.
My take is, this is a practical thing. 4 years ago, I was trying to convince my husband, who is a banker for 30 years, to invest. After 4 years, he's more excited than me to invest in things. So if there are angel investors, women in this room, the impact you could immediately work on is your husband to try to convince him to be an angel investor, while not forgetting that we want more angel investors, women angel investors. But even if men, they're still lacking. They're still lacking.
True.
Yes.
Very well said.
For me to take back home, it's just a clear clue, a clear clue idea, and to keep in mind, we ladies, sorry, men on the audience, we control, we interfere, we inspire a roughly more than 30 billion market. It's más o menos 27% of global wealth. It is a pity to lose this kind of opportunity and not try to get involved in investing, in promoting, in supporting female investors, entrepreneurs, and give an excellent example and inspire a new generation, either our girls, our next generation, our children, and in this way we're going to contribute even more to our world.
Thank you all. And I just want to say thank you for listening to me 2 times in a row. God bless you. Thank you. Female fund it is.
Thank you all.
Thank you. You hear me? Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Maria, for this strong closing. And thank you, Tuba, for being with us and stepping in for 2 panels. Yes, we are ready for lunch now, so I'm inviting you for the lunch. It's slowly starting now. The mayor of Seville will give the speech now at the beginning of the lunch, so it's going to be attractive. And I have a technical info for everybody following the Impact Investment Summit. For these flight schedules and catchings and airports, we have switched the panels, the next 2 panels, so that you are aware of it. The one that was supposed to start after lunch at 2:30, developing a collaboration model for impact investors and fintech startups, will be delayed by 1 hour, will be at 3:30, because they were so kind to give that timing, the first lot, to the second panel, to the panel discussion 5, Responsible Finance and Impact Investment, the Future of Smart Finance for Social Entrepreneurs. So responsible finance will be at 2:30, and fintech to serve and provide impact will be at 3:30. They're just switching places, the 2 panels. And then we have the last ladies panels, African ladies and myself, wrapping up at 4:30. That's for the rest of the day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And have a nice lunch.